Let's talk about Croagunk now. I haven't fought too many high level Croagunk, so I've just been defaulting to my standard, which is Eevee. There might be a better support, but that's what I've been using. Now all the Croagunk that I've been really fighting, they don't really zone that much. They mostly do like this move, back A, is super annoying. It's a slide where it goes under a lot of moves, and if you, let's say, have some buffs, then this move gets better. It goes farther and it's safe on block. So the more buffs you have, the better it is. If you have 2 buffs, it's -4. If you have 1 buff, it's -8. But if you have no buffs, then it is -12 on block and you can grab it. But just know that Croagunks are just going to be spamming this move. Once you, like, if you pop Eevee, for example, they're going to be doing this move all day, every day. Ideally, and then they'll steal it, right? You see how Croagunk went from having nothing to now it has your attack and speed, and you would actually lose it if I didn't have this thing on. So that's pretty annoying. They'll do that in both phases, but the way that you deal with that really is you just don't stand in that range. If they run into this, they'll get hit. They can go underside Y with that move though, which is pretty annoying. So you kind of want to zone out from that. It's not going to go under level 3 blast though, which is a true mid. Croagunk's also going to try to chip out your shield a lot. Now, this move, jumping A is ridiculous. So it's a random number generator based attack. They can either throw that thing, which it like lowers your defense if you walk in it, but it's not really that big of a deal. But then the tornado like does significant amounts of chip to your shield. And this is the thing, you can't like choose how you get this. Yeah, that boulder is ridiculous. It pushes you back super far, does a lot of chip and a lot of shield damage. This is another move that Croagunk likes to whiff a lot. This move has armor, but it's -12 on block. Now again, this move has varying effects. It doesn't matter if you have buffs or not, but it can like give you buffs. Like I can link the frame data. It's like one of the versions, it randomly switches between the damage. It can either give you 10 speed, it can do 80, or it can do 130. It's the point isn't to worry about what buffs it's going to give and take. The point is to punish this on block because it's -12 and stand out of the range of this move so that you can use jump Y to go around it. Now this move does a ridiculous amount of chip. Look at that, 20 every single time it throws one of these out, and they can move while they're doing this. So say for example you blocked that boulder, right? Let's see if I can get one of those. And then they just do this. Look at all that chip. That is crazy. So, and that's going to do a lot of shield damage also. So that's very dangerous. You can't really get away from the boulder. So this move is going to be a huge problem for Shadow Mewtwo. That's why you want to get close to Croagunk and ideally pressure it with jump Y and then side Y kind of close to it. But just basically, you want to make it uncomfortable and whip something that you can go over with like jump Y, just so that you don't have to deal with it like chipping out your shield so much. Okay, one other thing to note is that even though you don't usually see this, if Croagunk has 2 debuffs and it does this little uppercut, it's release X, then it's actually invincible on frame 1, which is like the only invincible attack like in the game. But usually you're not going to see Gunk with 2 debuffs. But if it does happen, then just block it, or just don't be in the range ideally. This move goes pretty far and it's going to stop you from doing jumping Y. This is their forward Y. So just, you can reflect over it, but a lot of times they can still punish you coming down. Jump X, -8 on block. Jump side X, or jump side Y is, you know, it's just another zoning tool, but it's not too big of a deal. This move, jump side X, you don't really need to worry too much about it. If you see them flipping all over the air, you can either use Ronan if that's what you picked, or you can just start jumping Y with it. This bomb, you kind of, whenever you see those, just move like any bomb, like in real life. Just don't be there and you should be fine. Croagunk is pretty straightforward what you want it to do. It's just, you know, whittle down its shield, and if it's not letting you whittle down its shield, it's because it's whiffing a bunch of buttons that are going to be, you know, avoiding your projectiles and stuff. So if it's doing those things, then jump over those with jump Y, or just make them whiff and then whiff punch them with a forward Y. It's not too complicated of a field phase, honestly. Dual phase, pretty much everything Croagunk has. If you have an Eevee and you start pillaring or you start doing level 2 blasts, they're not really going to do too much to you, except for this again, which is going to start sliding under your blast. And this move is actually crazy. The frame data says it's +8, but it really depends on how high it is. I'm pretty sure they can get this to like, I've seen it go so plus that you can't avoid this 15 frame jab after it. So, and that's a mid-low. And they can cancel this jab also into jump and like, so let's say they do this, they can cancel into jump Y, and then they can like throw boulders at you and tornadoes. So let's say they're doing this counter pressure. You see how irritating that can get, like really fast? So you just basically don't want to be in that range. You don't want to be jumping all this shenanigans into jump Ys or any of that. You want to be pressuring it with your level 2 or level 3 blast if they start sliding, and then pop Eevee, and then you can start pillaring it because it's going to be doing a lot of shenanigans and trying to throw a lot of stuff at you. Now, if you ever see Croagunk start doing that, hit it as early as you can because they can stop it now. This is, I think it's unblockable. Oh no, it just does a lot of shield. Alright, this is back X's taunt. Yeah, it'll break your shield pretty fast, but it's not one thing anymore. And jump Y can break your shield. Something that's pretty rare, but it can. So yeah, just watch out for that. This move right here, 2X, it is not safe on block, but if they do it from max range, obviously like most slides, then you're not going to be able to punish it. 6X, this move is -16, but usually it moves you back too far to be able to punish it. Forward X pierces, and it's +8 on block, but there is a gap in that hit, so you can get hit there. If you try to counter, then you'll get hit. Ideally, it's probably better to just block and then backdash after that. This counter attack is pretty annoying. Obviously, though, like any counter attack, you want to backdash that to avoid it and get it to whip. You can also jump Y over it. It's pretty hard for a Croagunk to really deal with that. 2A is the laser. This move, if the opponent has 2 debuffs, then it's actually pretty ridiculous. So, you know, that's how much chip it does there. But let's say this move 2A depends on how many debuffs your opponent has. Normally it just does that one laser. If you have 2 debuffs, it does all those, and that's a lot of chip damage and a lot of shield. Let's see how much shield this will do. Yeah, that's pretty good. Really dangerous. 3 will... And imagine if they got a boulder, right? So let's say you were in a position... This actually happens a lot. Let's see if we can reset this. If they get the boulder and then they do this, and then they go for this, look at all that chip and shield damage that Shadow Mewtwo took. So you really don't want to be dealing with any of that. And that stuff is, getting the boulder is a random number generator, but the rest of that stuff is based on how many debuffs you have and just your positioning on the screen if you're not able to stop it from doing that stuff. Tornado, same annoying thing. So, you know, it's really dangerous and really powerful, but you want to be commanding the screen with your level 2 blast, and if they start sliding, you want to make that whiff punish it. You want to throw level 3s if they're getting really greedy with that. Attack up, then you can start throwing out pillars on them. And you can't really deal with jumping Y in neutral. The best way to stop it is to just not be in range of it. You can't even really whiff on this shit. It's just a super annoying move. Even if you have Rotom, you're not going to be able to run them in time. Now, you can preemptively Rotom, which can work too. So, yeah, that's the basics of Croagunk. You really just want to be making it whiff a bunch of buttons. Every button that Croagunk has that's going to stop your general game plan, like Shadow Ball level 2 Blast, or the 6X, or your Sidewise and Field Phase, and just your basic Shadow Mewtwo stuff. The only things Croagunk has that's going to stop those things are whiffing moves. So those are the types of moves that you're going to have your footsies on point. You're going to want to just whip punishing them all day, every day with those. And then you get into burst, and then there's not really anything Croagunk's going to really do to you except for do a 6A, in which case you punish it with my swallow on block, or if you're not in the range of it, or if you counter pierced it, then you can beat it like that. But if you're not in range of it, then, you know, whiff punish that as well. Whiff punish central against this character. On to the next.